You do your part. Help, call, message, say, tolong lah, come down here please. We really want to hear all of you together with all of us tonight. Yeah? Can I have a rousing round of applause and cheers from everybody, please? Wow, the lights are going strobing right now. All right, give us a few seconds and we'll be right back. I'm supposed to take a break just because I need to save my voice for the rest of this evening, but I feel like I'm neglecting all of you. So here I am back on stage again, ladies and gentlemen. Are you feeling good today? Usually, we have two MCs. However, my comrade is sick today. Yeah, he's sick. And so, I do hope that his MediSave and MediShield is enough to tide him over, yeah? Do you all have enough MediSave and MediShield, I hope? Can lah. Oh, cannot use, that is a good point. How many of you feel like you cannot use your MediSave? 10% only, I see. How many of you feel like your MediShield is enough, sort of, not off? Sorry? Enough until next week. 20% exactly, that is the answer. 20% only, right? So I implore you perhaps to go look at our policies on health. Look at what Dr. Paul and the team has formulated and see for yourself the kind of solutions and alternatives that we propose as a party. Now tonight we have Sean over here as well as Rashida, who are both going to take turns, because it's quite tiring, to do the signing for those who need it, yeah? Today is Tuesday. Tuesday is a tough day to get any crowd because it's a working day. But at the very least, I see a bunch of you, this number about 300 of you were here since 7:30. How many of you were here even earlier than 7:30? I see some of you. Very good. Today is a little bit shorter of a rally because normally we start at 7 to 10 and we have a whole lineup of candidates for you. However, tonight we start a little bit later. Who can tell me why? Sorry? The simple reason is because all of us were already rallying earlier in the afternoon. How many of you know that there was a rally in the afternoon? Do you know where the rally was in the afternoon? UOB, yeah, not OUB, UOB, yeah? UOB Plaza. And can you guess the numbers that appeared in front of UOB Plaza? 10,000. I don't think that space can take 10,000, but it's close to that, I would say. Several thousand spilling onto the streets. Yeah? I see a gentleman over here that I recognize. 2 days ago, you were there at Woodlands. Was it 2 days ago? No, yesterday night. You were there at Woodlands Stadium. Can we all give a round of applause for this gentleman waving the flag, please? One of our most fervent supporters. Wherever we go, he goes. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will be beginning in a very short while, a few more minutes. I'm trying to ration my energy as well because I really haven't eaten anything yet for the whole afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, while we are all waiting, perhaps may I introduce to you Danny the Bear. Danny the Bear is a mascot of the SDP. And Danny here comes in various different colors, from white to brown to dark brown. All these are available right behind you. If you turn your heads around, you can see the tentages all the way at the back. That is our merchandise booth. And that is where you can purchase any of the merchandise that we offer. The bears, the clappers, the books, the flags, the water bottles. No more umbrellas because we ran out of umbrellas a few days ago at Sembawang Sun Plaza. Because it was out of necessity. Everybody stormed the tentages just to get the umbrellas because it was raining that night. Now, ladies and gentlemen, every single one of your contributions when you buy and you purchase any of our materials will go a long way to supporting the team, the SDP team, because we are a strong but small team and we really need your support. And it is not just the financial kind of support, but we also need polling agents. Polling agents are basically our representatives who will need to sit at each polling booth on Saturday, 3rd of May, in order to ensure that there is a fair and just elections. And so, right now, out of 770 spaces to be filled, we only have 10% of them filled up. So I sincerely implore you, at the end of today, or rather by the end of today, if you can, please register at the back as well. We have registration booths at the back. We really need as many of you as possible to volunteer. Be our polling agents on Saturday, 3rd of May. You will be the ones who ensure that the elections are just and fair and that we have a brighter future for everyone. Isn't that so, everybody? So, hopefully by the end of today, Bukit Panjang will help contribute and we can grow the numbers to from 10% to perhaps at least 20%. Yeah? You're going to give us a few more minutes just to catch my breath, and then as well, we're going to invite the first speaker up very, very soon. Thank you one and all, and see you in a short while. All right, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for tonight's rally? Bukit Panjang, are you ready tonight? Now, our very first speaker for tonight is Arifin. He is already well known today as the champion of the youth, the millennials, and the Gen Z, perhaps. Speaking of which, I am also from the millennials, thankfully. However, today, he won't be giving a rah-rah speech, but instead we'll be talking about something really important, both to you guys as well as to us, voter secrecy. And so, can you all give a clap to Arifin, please?
Yeah, okay, bro. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Hi, good evening, Bukit Panjang. All right, today it's not going to be one of my rah-rah speeches. I'm going to share a little bit about voter secrecy because many people have come forward in private, online to ask us, hey, is our vote really secret? So after talking about voter secrecy, we're going to do something that has never been done in a political rally in Singapore before. But before that, let's get this public service announcement out of the way. So if some of you, if you know someone who doesn't believe that your vote is secret, this is the time you take up your phone and start recording, because what I'm going to say is very important, and I'm going to tell you how you can be part of this process as well. Okay? So the first thing is this: your vote is 1,000,000% secret. Whether you're a civil servant, whoever you are, your vote is secret. There is no way for your individual vote to be traced back to you. And I wanted to do this at the start, but I would just like everyone to give a round of applause to our sign language interpreter. Okay, so many people ask, if our vote is secret, why is there a serial number on our ballot slips? That's a good question. Two reasons. Firstly is to prevent any voter fraud, any impersonation, right? And essentially, if you read the ELD website, they have this very good explanation in English, Malay, Tamil, and Chinese. So if you need to screenshot and send it to your friends, please do. When polling starts at 8 a.m., all polling agents are shown an empty box, right? From the start all the way to the end, the entire polling process is witnessed by independent parties. So at 8 a.m., they show us that the box is empty, and then, polling starts, people go forward and then put their votes in. At the end of polling, the box is sealed, and when the box is being sealed, the ELD officials, the civil servants will invite polling agents from both sides to come forward and to sign on those boxes. So you can put your sticker, you can put your signature to seal the boxes, okay? And then these boxes are transported to the counting center. And in 2015, I followed the boxes. In 2015, I was actually too young to vote, but I was old enough to become a polling agent and counting agent. So I've seen in yesterday's rallies, okay, can. Sorry, where was I? I was young enough, yes, thanks. Yeah, so yesterday's rallies, I saw so many young people come forward. Many of them were below 21. And they said, look, how can I get involved? I would say, go and sign up to be a polling agent and counting agent, because I believe you just need to be 18 years old, because I was 18 years old at the time. You just need to be 18 years old to be a polling agent and counting agent, and you get a frontline seat to our democratic process. So as I was saying, from the polling center, there will be a bus. So like last time they used SBS buses, so it's quite cool, right? So you sit in the bus together with the boxes, you go to the counting center. Similarly, in counting center, they empty the boxes, take the sample count, take the final count, put all the votes back into the box. Again, there will be another round of sealing, right? And then eventually the boxes are brought to a vault, I think in the Supreme Court or Parliament, something like that, and you'll be kept there for 6 months under the closest scrutiny from independent parties. And at the end of 6 months, these boxes are then taken out, and again, the political parties are invited. The political parties will be asked to come and then say that, okay, please check, your seal is still here, your signature is still here, your sticker is still here, seal boxes have not been tampered with, and we get to witness with our own eyes these boxes being incinerated. So my point is this, from the start all the way till incineration, no one can see how an individual votes for. So when I say vote without fear, it's not just a message of, something for aspirational, but I'm being factual. You can vote without fear. Doesn't matter if you're a civil servant or whoever, your vote is 100% secret. Now, this is the part where I need your help. I'm not sure whether the live stream cameras can zoom in, but if you can't, there is a poster right at the back at our merchandise booth, or you can go to our website, our Facebook, Instagram, to go and sign up as a polling agent or a counting agent. Okay, I think it's probably too small, right? But there's one more at the back. So when you sign up as a polling agent or a counting agent, you get a frontline seat to democracy. This year, we are covering Marsiling UT, Bukit Panjang, Sembawang, GRC, and Sembawang West. So altogether, we need about 770 polling agents and a slightly lesser number of counting agents. Sad to say, we are only at 10% of the amount. So what I suggest, dedicate half a day. Food will be provided, yeah. Food may not be as nice as the other sites, but still good. So if you can, please sign up as a polling agent, sign up as a counting agent. And if you have friends who still think that your vote is not secret, please share with them this video. Please go onto ELD's website to have a look at the entire process and be assured that your vote is secret. All right, that's the end of the public service announcement. Thank you for that. Right, so now, we always talk about messages of hope, but then a lot of times, we get a bit exhausted shouting here and there. So today, we're going to try something that has never been attempted in a political rally in Singapore before. And it's going to be a message of hope, and a very interesting message of hope. All right, so I need you guys to work together with me in this, but remember, on a rally stage, we are not allowed to sing. Okay, I think if we sing, we get some fine and, we don't want that, right? But what we're going to do is read the lyrics of a song together. Okay, and trust me, this is, in my opinion, the best National Day song in a long time. No offense to the recent National Day songs, but I think we can all agree that the older National Day songs are slightly better, a bit more hard. Don't you guys think so? So shall we do this together, my friends? Okay, I'll give you all about 20 seconds. Can you whip up your phones, right? Go to Google. If you want, you can share with the person beside you. Whip up your phones, go to Google. Remember, don't sing, just read the lyrics together. And you'll be surprised at how moving and revolutionary this National Day song is. And I think it completely represents what we stand for, what we intend to do. Can anyone try to guess the name of the National Day song? Home, a bit overplayed. But it's nice, it's nice. Stand Up for Singapore, close enough, close enough. It's a song by Stephanie Sun. Where I Belong, close enough. Okay, I think some of us maybe even forgot this National Day song. Can we take up our phones, go to Google and search "We Will Get There" lyrics. We will get there lyrics. Remember the days. Yes, that's the first line. I'll give you some time to go and get your phones up, get the lyrics up. We will get there. Let's do this together. And you will see what I mean by the end of the song. Guys, are we there? Okay, if you're on the page ready, give me a yes. Okay, let's try this together, okay? Remember, resist the urge to sing, if not, we will gonna fine. Resist, yes. Remember the days we set out together with faith. Remember the times so fine. We thought that nothing could stand in our way. Then things were not the same. The life we knew had to change. We struggled through the darkest storms. We thought we couldn't tame. Together we've tried. As we stood side by side, I knew we'll build a new world, a world of hope forever after. Deep in my heart, I just know. Right from the start, we will grow. Look where we are. We've come so far. And there's still a long, long way to go. With all of my heart, I will care. I'll play my part, I will share. With family and friends, together we'll stand. And in the end, hand in hand, we will get there. Give yourself a round of applause. You see, even the lights went out for extra dramatic effect. All right, my friends, today my job is not to rah-rah. Today my job is just to, ensure everyone that voting is secret. And remember, I would strongly suggest on your way home, just listen to the lyrics of this beautiful song by Stephanie Sun, and you will feel something in you. You will really feel something in you, and it's something that moves all of us, it's something that brought us all of here tonight, and that is hope. Ladies and gentlemen, we need more hope in Singapore, more love, reject fear, and come May the 3rd, you know what to do. Am I right, friends? And remember, hand in hand, we will get there. We can't do this alone without you. We will need your help. And I know I say no rah-rah, but this has become almost a tradition right now. So you know what to do at the end of each speech. Who knows what we're going to do at the end of each speech? Achamile. Okay. Okay, together, you guys have been beautiful tonight. Together. When I say Achamile, you repeat after me. Achamile! Achamile! Acham yang berdilai. Remember guys, earlier today, there was lightning, there was thunder, but after lightning comes a rainbow, and remember that rainbow here in Beacon Primary School. Thank you.
Voila! Thank you once again, Bukit Panjang. Can I hear you, please? Once again, I want to exhort as many of you to come forward as fast as possible, because there is quite a bit of space still in the front. Yeah, as well as those of you who are sitting perhaps a little far away, a little to the side, you really are welcome to join us in the front. Why, I say? Because it is not a crime. It is not a crime to listen to a rally from the opposition. It is not a crime to support the opposition, and therefore it is also not a crime to vote for the opposition. So here I have on my hands a card which I believe all of you have already received on your way in. And so for all of you, because I know probably about half of you belong to here in Bukit Panjang SMC. How many of you belong to Bukit Panjang SMC? Then you know who to vote for, because we here have shown you and indicated for you who you ought to vote for. Yeah? Meanwhile, the rest of you who don't belong to Bukit Panjang SMC, but do belong to Woodlands and Marsiling, can I have a show of hands and a support, please? You know who to vote for as well. You know which color to vote for. Now, our next candidate coming up is none other than Malay community leader and fervent sepak takraw enthusiast, Dama.
Fellow Singaporeans, how are you tonight? This is our second rally in Bukit Panjang. If Dr. Paul wins Bukit Panjang on 3rd of May, it will be a historic night. Can SDP win Bukit Panjang this time? SDP will plant our flag in Bukit Panjang, and from Bukit Panjang we will begin our work for you and for Singapore. My friends, as we move closer to polling day, we can hear the PAP scream louder and louder, all the negatives, to paint a dire picture. If you choose us, the opposition, the SDP as your MP, they are fear-mongering us. Will the country fail if more opposition gets into parliament? All your services are run by professional people, independent of the PAP government. They work and serve only the public. There are no political masters. Yes, they must work closely with any sitting government. That is the PAP government. That is normal and expected. But they are not beholden to the PAP. So don't worry about services in Bukit Panjang. After Dr. Paul becomes your MP, they will be all right. The SDP Bukit Panjang Town Council will be set up and a transition will happen where the PAP Town Council will smoothly transfer all its function to the SDP Town Council for Bukit Panjang. We will work towards a quick handover so that SDP can immediately start work to run the SDP Town Council for Bukit Panjang. So you don't worry. Once in Parliament, Dr. Paul will get to ask all the relevant questions to the PAP ministers. Those questions that the PAP MPs will never ask their ministers. Questions on the GST rise. Questions on the high HDB, BTO and resale prices. Questions on the population size. Questions on the high COE price. Question on jobs imbalance between local Singaporeans, you and I, and the influx of foreign PMETs taking away our jobs. Question on healthcare costs that must benefit us, the people, and not the insurance companies. But besides questioning, Dr. Paul and the SDP will get to present our policy ideas directly in Parliament for due consideration by the government. And there are plenty of policy ideas that the SDP have crafted from population, climate change, healthcare, education, housing, among others. It will be an exciting time for us to present those fresh policy ideas on your behalf, the people in Parliament. There is no better person to do so than Dr. Paul. So when you go to the polling booth on the 3rd of May, remember to vote for Dr. Paul Tambaya as your SDP MP into Bukit Panjang SMC. Can you do that? Okay, allow me to spend some time speaking in Malay. Tak ada pantun tadi. As the Malay PAP MP replied to some of my points the other night at Sun Plaza Rally. Para pengundi yang dikasihi, anda akan mengundi pada 3 Mei, Sabtu ini. Fikirkan tentang masa depan masyarakat kita yang telah mengalami pemerintahan PAP selama lebih daripada 60 tahun. Adakah masyarakat Melayu benar-benar maju dan lebih cemerlang dan kita boleh rasa bangga sebagai masyarakat Melayu? Adakah kita rakyat yang hidup sama rata boleh mencapai hasrat dan cita-cita kita setinggi mana tanpa halangan? Adakah kita masyarakat yang berjati diri ataupun sebaliknya? Jika kita jujur dengan keadaan masyarakat kita, kita harus iktiraf tidak semua yang indah seperti yang dikatakan mereka. Banyak perkara yang dekat di hati masyarakat kita yang masih belum selesai, tertunda tak tahu sehingga bila. Izinkan saya tanya beberapa soalan kepada MP-MP Melayu PAP. Kenapa anda tidak bersuara apabila hati masyarakat kita dilukakan baru-baru ini oleh seorang yang berpengaruh dan dekat dengan kepimpinan PAP anda? Di mana kebebasan anda sebagai wakil rakyat Melayu yang mempunyai peranan untuk sentiasa prihatin tentang hal ehwal masyarakat kita? Adakah anda setuju dengan cara pimpinan tinggi PAP bertindak menyelesaikan isu tersebut tanpa mengambil tindakan undang-undang yang jelas ada dan pernah digunakan ke atas individu-individu lain yang kesalahan mereka tidak separah ini? Diam anda memberi gambaran bagaimana anda kurang peka isu yang menyentuh maruah dan martabat masyarakat kita. Anda sebagai pemimpin masyarakat Melayu kita tidak seharusnya kekok untuk berdepan dengan isu-isu semasa seperti ini dengan lebih berani. Ini merupakan tanggungjawab anda untuk mendengar isi hati masyarakat yang terguris dan bukan menunggu arahan atasan PAP anda. Jika anda dan PAP merasakan cukup dengan tindakan yang anda lakukan untuk meredakan kegusaran masyarakat, nasihat jujur saya ialah untuk anda dan pimpinan PAP supaya pertimbangkan semula perkara ini. Saya timbulkan ini bukan sebagai bahan politik pilihan raya, tapi teguran sopan kepada kawan bertanding, supaya kita sama-sama mengombatkan luka masyarakat kita yang kita sama-sama mewakili dan mencintai. Yang mustahak ialah kita berhati-hati menjaga perasaan masyarakat kita demi kepentingan kita bersama. Tiada ruginya jika kita perbetulkan kesilapan kita. Itu adalah ciri pemimpin yang peka dan berhikmah dalam menangani masyarakat, yang sebenarnya bukan satu kelemahan. Seterusnya, saya ingin menyentuh tentang masyarakat kita umumnya. Kita sebagai sebuah masyarakat sebenarnya tidak kurang hebatnya dibandingkan dengan masyarakat yang lain. Kita mempunyai sumber dalam bentuk golongan bijak pandai yang berpendidikan tinggi dan berpengalaman dalam pelbagai bidang. Mereka adalah kekuatan tenaga manusia yang belum kita gemblengkan dengan baik dan sepenuhnya. Apakah masalahnya? Sering berlaku di mana mereka ini merasakan niat mereka untuk menyumbang berdepan dengan syarat-syarat yang mengelirukan. Sering sekali perbezaan antara garisan politik dan peranan mereka bertindan dan kadang-kadang dipersoalkan. Individu-individu dipinggirkan tanpa alasan yang manasabah yang jelas. Namun boleh dikilaskan sebab peminggiran mereka dan sering berkaitan dengan politik yang mempengaruhi badan-badan masyarakat kita. Perkara ini telah tersebut dan terakam dalam banyak kajian ilmiah seperti yang terdapat dalam karya-karya ilmiah Dr. Hussein Muttalib, mantan Profesor Madya Universiti Kebangsaan Singapura, dan juga Dr. Lili Zubaida, seorang lagi ilmuwan unggul yang banyak membuat kajian terhadap masyarakat Melayu kita. Pemisahan politik dan badan-badan masyarakat Melayu kita adalah perkara yang perlu ditangani supaya masyarakat kita tidak terjerat dengan kepentingan politik yang menghambat kemajuan kita. Kini tiba peluang anda untuk menggunakan kuasa keramat di tangan anda untuk menyatakan dengan jelas perasaan anda dengan mengundi dan memilih jalan dan cara baru untuk mencapai apa yang kita idamkan sebagai sebuah masyarakat di Singapura. Kita mampu dan boleh berjaya jika laluan masyarakat kita tidak terus terhalang. Kita mahukan cerdik pandai masyarakat kita bebas untuk berfikir dan bersuara kerana mereka sebenarnya mempunyai kepakaran dan kepintaran untuk menangani semua masalah yang membelenggu masyarakat kita jika mereka diberi peluang untuk melakukannya. Jadi untuk mempercepatkan proses perubahan ini, kita perlu berubah arah dan memilih MP pembangkang untuk berdiri di parlimen dan menyuarakan dengan jujur, jelas, berhujah untuk anda mengenai isu-isu yang penting dan jelas, menjejas masyarakat kita dengan lebih telus dan terbuka. Finally, my friends and voters, make your vote count on the 3rd of May at the polls when you elect your next MP for Bukit Panjang SMC. Vote for Dr. Paul. Make him your MP to speak for you in our next parliament. Thank you and good night.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And once again, thank you for everybody here from Bukit Panjang. Once again, I implore those of you who are at the back and cannot see my face clearly enough, come forward. It doesn't really look that bad. Really, come forward. Why? Because, as I said earlier, it is not a crime, isn't it? Listening to a rally, standing closer, this is not a crime. It is your right as a citizen in a proper functioning democracy. Don't you think so? To hear your problems enunciated. To hear alternative solutions, because for the longest time, they have not been resolved, isn't it? It's not a crime to voice out your displeasure, when we live in increasing income inequality, isn't it? Now, our next speaker coming up has had a very tiring afternoon, but he is back here again, and he wants me to share that he loves badminton. But he is not going to pass the buck around if he is voted into parliament. And today, he is here to come on stage to share with you his views on innovation and creativity. Let us welcome businessman Alfred Tan!
A bit higher? A bit higher. Yeah, yeah. Good evening, fellow Singaporeans. Good evening, Bukit Panjang. Tonight, I want to talk about our future and what we must do now before it's too late. Let's be very clear. Singapore has no oil, no gold mines, no vast lands to farm. We have only one resource, one. Our people, our minds, our hands, our spirit. And if we don't wake up, and if we keep thinking we can survive just by being compliant, just by keeping our heads down, we will be finished. The world is changing faster than ever. Artificial intelligence, AI, automation, wars, trade barriers, political games. The environment will be uncertain, volatile, dynamic. We cannot just depend on the old ways anymore. We cannot just say, never mind, the MNCs will take care of us. The MNCs have no loyalty. They move to Vietnam today, India tomorrow, Africa the next. Cheaper labor, better tax breaks? Sure. Bye-bye, Singapore. You think they will stay here for you? No. It is time for Singapore to wake up. It is time to stop training our young to just memorize answers for exams. It is time to stop telling our kids, don't question, just follow. We must encourage creativity, questioning, critical thinking. We must dare to push boundaries, challenge the old ways, innovate. Because the jobs of tomorrow are not just about following instructions. They are about creating new ideas, new products, new solutions. If our schools only teach students to be kiasi, to be scared of making mistakes, then one day it will not be the factories that close. It will be our minds. We need a workforce that is nimble, resilient, future-proof. This new world demands resilience, grit, tenacity, not just plain obedience. The SDP understands this. We believe education must evolve, not just scoring A's, but learning to think. Not just following textbooks, but questioning, imagining, building, disrupting. Because if we don't, if we stay fearful, stay passive, we will be left behind. I want to take a moment because I read and I hear Mr. Ong Ye Kung asking for solution. He doesn't know what to do. Mr. Ong Ye Kung is a typical PAP minister with all its problems. First, they created the mess. Then they don't know how to solve the mess. Then they look to those outside the PAP to help clear the mess. And finally, they take credit for solving the problem by repackaging and calling it another glorious name. Ong Yi Kang asked last night about the accordion integrated healthcare clusters that started with 1, then went to 2, then went to 6, and then now back to 3. He asked, what to do with the people in the clusters if we will streamline the clusters? Hey, you get the hospital, you are the one who got the hospital administration bloated, and now you're afraid to clean up the mess? You spend and waste resources so freely, and now, when asked to clean up, you don't know what to do. Just typical of PAP mistakes, waiting for others to clean up their mess. Well, Mr. Ong, I'll tell you what your government's typical response is. Please ask the spare people to go for retraining, reskill. That's what you will tell them. Suddenly, they think that this is not a solution anymore. I'll tell you a better solution. Well, there are many, many positions in Singapore still unfilled. There are still many vacancies. So I'll suggest that you can deploy them, redeploy them to these vacancies. Now, let me get back to my speech. It is time to grow our own companies, our own SMEs. For 60 years, Singapore bet everything on MNCs. We gave them tax breaks, land, cheap workers. And yes, they helped jumpstart our economy. But that was yesterday's strategy. Today, we must stand on our own 2 feet. We must grow our own local champions, our SMEs. Grow them into regional or even global players. Because SMEs are loyal. They are built here, they stay here, they employ our people. They don't just pack up and run the moment they get a better deal elsewhere. And Mr. Ong, your spare people that you don't know what to do, when you streamline your healthcare clusters, you can load them into our SMEs. Now, our best business leaders, the one that you admire, they didn't just follow, they built, they fought, they dared. We need more of them. And to do that, we need a system that encourages innovation, not just compliance. And that is why this election matters. Because change doesn't start with policies. Change doesn't start with slogans. Change starts with the right leaders. Leaders who dare to challenge the status quo. Leaders who dare to speak out. Leaders who dare to put you first, not the party line. And that is why you must vote for Professor Paul Tambaya. Dr. Paul is not afraid to ask the hard question. Dr. Paul is not afraid to speak truth to power. Dr. Paul is not afraid to choose with heart, to make decisions that put Singaporeans first. Professor Paul Tambaya, with the SDP, will fight for an education system that unleashes creativity, a workforce that is future-ready, tough, smart, world-class, an economy that grows our own businesses, creates real jobs, real security, and real pride. And let me tell you, the PAP can laugh at us. The PAP can look down on us. They can call us dreamers. But remember this, every big change started because someone dared to say, enough! Enough of playing it safe. Enough of pretending everything is okay. Enough of waiting for someone else to save us. Because it is time to save ourselves. My friends, my fellow Singaporeans, my dear Bukit Panjang voters, if you want a future where Singapore is still strong, still proud, still leading the world, you must dare to change. If you want your children to have real opportunities, you must dare to challenge the old ways. If you want a parliament that fights for your jobs, your future, your dignity, you must dare to vote differently. We fight with brains. We fight with heart. We fight for you. Change the MP. Vote Professor Paul Tambaya. Vote SDP. Thank you, Bukit Panjang. Majulah Singapura.
Thank you, everybody. Once again, give a rousing applause for Alfred, please. Before the next candidate comes on stage to speak, I would like to implore the rest of you. I see already you have been filling up the gaps. Wonderful. However, this corner, there is still space. That corner, there is still space. So I do hope you can bring yourselves down and dirty your shoes together with me just for tonight. Because tomorrow it won't be dirty. Tomorrow is at Sun Plaza, by the way. Yeah? So please come forward unless you are making your way to the tentages at the back. Because that is where you can get your merchandise, which we all display over here. The teddy bears, the flags, the books, and the books in particular. If you get the books, you are also free to join in for an autograph session at the end of tonight's session, because Dr. Chi will ensure every single one of you who needs an autograph, who wants an autograph, will certainly get an autograph. Now, at the same time, I need to exhort all of you. As I said, we only have 10% of our 770 polling agents filled. So we really need your help to come in, to volunteer and be polling agents, not counting agents, polling agents on the actual day, 3rd of May, this Saturday. Yeah? On top of that, if you would like to volunteer to be part of the SDP team as well, please do sign up at the back once again, because all the booths are at the back. Ladies and gentlemen, on my hands, once again, I have to hold this because I need to visually remind you, because some of you don't really like the sound of my voice perhaps, but at least you can hear, okay, so you can see here what it means to be part of a democracy. So this Saturday, you know where to vote. You know where to put your X, isn't it? And so for those of you who are voting here in Bukit Panjang SMC, whose name are you going to put your X next to? Sorry again, whose name? Ah, yes, wonderful. Now, the next candidate coming on stage is not from Bukit Panjang SMC, but he comes from Marsiling UT. I see some of you from Marsiling over here. Can you, those of you who are from Marsiling, give me a cheer, please? His name is Jufri, and he wants to share with you his views on CPF, on affordable housing, and as well as for healthcare. So can we give a rousing welcome to Jufri?
Thank you. Good evening, friends, brothers, and sisters. Before I start, I want to thank our MCs tonight for doing a wonderful job and to our dedicated members and change makers who work tirelessly behind the scenes. Not forgetting the Singapore Police Force for keeping us safe. So if you see them, give them your thanks and support. And importantly, thank you all, each and every one of you, for being here, for braving the weather. In Singapore, simply attending an SDP rally like this can feel like an act of rebellion. But let's be clear. This is democracy in action, and it's precisely what the PAP fears. They see you gathered here and they panic. It's not the opposition that you should fear, but unchecked power. Power without challenge breeds arrogance. We are not trying to take over everything. We are asking for you to deny them a 2/3 majority so they can change the rules without debate, so you can have a real voice in parliament, and when something goes wrong, someone actually asks them why. For over 60 years, the PAP has maintained a supermajority in parliament, wielding enough power to unilaterally amend the constitution. We are not here for power. We are here because we believe with conviction that Singaporeans deserve better. You deserve MPs who listen to you, who cares about your struggles, your dreams, and your families. Not those who are busy managing million-dollar portfolios while our elderly had to endure chronic pain on empty stomachs, washing food trays and public toilets. How much longer do we want to be managed in this way? The Singapore Democratic Party offers a different vision, a people-first, future-ready plan. We believe success should be measured not just by GDP, but by the Genuine Progress Indicator or GPI. What's the point of top-tier infrastructure if you are too stressed to enjoy it? Let's talk about what matters most, the cost of living. Singaporeans are working harder than ever, yet at the end of each month, too many are left struggling. Prices are rising. Food, transport, utilities, everything is going up, except wages. Enough is enough. The SDP has a clear plan which you can read more in detail on our website. Let me share with you some of them. We will introduce a living wage, not just a minimum wage, but one that allows every worker, young or old, to live stress-free. Sorry, my emotion gets better of me. Thank you, everyone. And can you please, a round of applause to the interpreter. So, as I said, let me share with you. We will reduce the GST, especially on essential goods, because you shouldn't be taxed just for buying your daily bread. The next thing is your CPF. You work your whole life. You save your money. And yet, when you turn 55, you cannot fully access your own savings. That is wrong. The SDP wants to return CPF to its true purpose, to serve you, not to control you. At 55, you should have the option to withdraw your CPF savings because it is your money after all. It doesn't belong to the government. Public housing. Public housing was meant to be affordable. But today, one look at HDB prices, you feel despair. Our solution is simple. We will lower the price of new flats by removing lands from the equation. A home should be a place for family, not a 30-year burden. Healthcare. Healthcare is another critical issue. When someone falls sick in Singapore, their first worry is often not their health, but the cost. That's totally unacceptable too. So we propose universal healthcare, a single-payer model where no Singaporean has to fear not being able to pay when they need treatment. Because we believe that you should be focused on healing, not hospital bills. Now, yesterday, Ong Ye Kung dismissed our proposals as mere populist, claiming that we don't have a snowball's chance. Let me tell you something. What they call populism, we call it putting people first. And when we talk about integrity and trust, we must talk about one man, Dr. Paul Tambaya. Candidate for Bukit Panjang. He is not just a globally respected expert on infectious diseases. He is a man of compassion and courage. Dr. Paul Tambaya is not here for titles. I can assure you that. He is here for you, for Singapore's future. A future where every Singaporean, young and old, has hope, security and a voice. On 3rd May, when you walk into the polling station, think about your future. Think about your children's future. But first, before I go, can we have a show of hands? Who is from Sembawang West? Vote for SDP. Can I see those from Sembawang GRC? Vote for SDP. Now this is the best part. Anyone from Muslim UT? Vote for? And let's hear it for Bukit Panjang. Who do you vote for? Vote for Paul Tambaya. Vote for SDP. Majulah Singapura. Majulah SDP. Thank you.
Thank you, Jufi. And for those of you from Marsiling, as well as the rest of you over here, did you like that speech from Jufi, please? Once again, I would like to implore, but it's getting a bit more difficult because the crowd has already grown tenfold from the beginning of this session, isn't it? From where I'm standing, it's starting to get more and more difficult to see any patch of grass because you guys spent your time, your evening, your effort, and your passionate hearts, your listening ears down here with us on a Tuesday weekday evening, just to hear what the SDP has to say on your behalf, isn't it? The next speaker coming up. Some of you have already seen him at the stage side. Dr. Paul. Calm down, calm down. I haven't even introduced him and you guys are getting excited already. I love him too. How many of you love him too? Dr. Paul is... You guys are really Bukit Panjang, isn't it? Now, Dr. Paul is one of the most articulate, learned minds I've ever met. But what about his heart? Those of you in Bukit Panjang for the last 5 years, 10 years, you know what I mean when we talk about his heart, isn't it? Introducing the voice of reason for the SDP, Dr. Paul Tamboya.
Actually, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Dear residents of Bukit Panjang, it's been a real joy to be out in the markets, the blocks, the streets, and here last week, meeting so many of you all, residents of Bukit Panjang. GE2020 was a very unusual election in that it was held during the COVID pandemic. There were severe restrictions, we couldn't hold rallies like this, we couldn't hold meetings with more than 5 people in person, we had to greet residents while wearing masks, we even had to put on plastic gloves while voting, even though that practice was abandoned when it found to be impractical. Nevertheless, we had a great experience with the residents that we got to know in Bukit Panjang. Since then, we've continued to meet up with you, visited your homes, heard your stories, shared your festivals, had a number of forums. We had the APA in Pang Sua Pon, and just recently we had an online one, and we had some great questions from people in the neighborhood. We have been really encouraged by what we have heard. Now, there are many challenges facing the residents of Bukit Panjang, just like all Singaporeans. And first and foremost is the rapidly rising cost of living. There are also concerns about healthcare, including access to healthcare, as well as transport connectivity, and the problems with lifts in some of the old blocks, 257 near the market, as well as other municipal issues. One of the things I have learned is that you are creative people, and there are many good ideas out there in the community which may actually provide relevant and cost-effective solutions that the people on top may not have thought about. So the lift problem is one of them. As you know, the vast majority of HDB flats now have lift access on the same level, but 257 is still without lift access at present. This has caused considerable hardship for some of the elderly people living there. True, right? One resident told us how he has to carry his mom on his back when she needs to go for a medical appointment, because the cost of booking a private ambulance is about $300 for a trip. And it's difficult, even for the ambulance, to get up to a floor if there's no lift landing. So the SDP team in Marsiling UT encountered a similar situation a few years ago. And led by Brian Lim, they studied the neighboring blocks, they organized a petition, they wrote to the Ministry of National Development for months before finally getting an upgrade for the lifts of Block 115 and 119 Marsiling Rise. And this was originally rejected by the PAP Grassroots Advisor as being too expensive. But people are more important. Right. So the HDB introduced a $30,000 housing grant to persuade people with mobility issues to move to other flats. But that's really not enough. because other flats are either smaller or they're more expensive. You know, just 3 weeks ago, before the writ of election was called, the lift access grant was suddenly increased to 80,000, which is a big improvement. On the other hand, though, one of the residents of Block 257 came up to us to point out that for the kind of money the government is spending on the graph, they could simply put a hydraulic lift or some other kind of access which is less expensive. So this is just another illustration of the need to hold town halls, to listen to stakeholders. That's people like you. And to discuss the issues so that we can decide together on what is best for everyone. Now, the Bukit Panjang LRT is another major concern. In 2017, then Transport Minister Khaw Boon Wan said in the Straits Times of September 12, the Bukit Panjang LRT, which opened in 1999, was an afterthought to a built-up town and constructed because of political pressure. Now, which of you put political pressure on the government to build the LRT? I can't imagine that happening. Somehow the political pressure must have come from somewhere. But he said, no LRT is designed that way in such a masochistic manner, when you force yourself to go up and down with twists and turns. Now, I know that many people find the LRT does help shorten the travel time in Bukit Panjang, but I also know the system is under strain. And you know, recently they shut it down and they had the single line running and they closed early and things like that. But so there are questions about the long-term viability of the trains. There's been a major renewal program that was put in place by SMRT, LTA, MOT, and the various related agencies. It was originally supposed to finish in 2024, but is now on track for completion in 2026. So this is a hugely expensive project, but one which is difficult to undo. It requires a detailed consultation and understanding of the costs and benefits of the various options. If elected, we will organize a town hall with the LTA and discuss the long-term plans moving forward, because we want to hear from you. Now, one of the major concerns that many residents have is whether the ongoing improvements that are going on in the estate will continue if the SDP wins the election this Saturday. I can assure you they will. The covered walkways, the upgrades to playgrounds, the fitness corners, the new slip-resistant flooring, they will all continue because they are funded by taxpayers like you and I. As far as I know, no PAP party funds went into the flooring or the walkways. These projects were carried out by highly skilled apolitical professionals from various government agencies. These agencies do their work for the good of Singapore and Singaporeans and are not susceptible to lobbying by politicians. Rather, they will listen to the people, that's you and I, and carry out activities as planned. If you don't believe me, ask the residents of Sengkang, Aljunied, and Hougang. For more than 30 years, despite having an opposition MP, Hougang has continued to be a dynamic town with the world's cleanest drinking water, just like the rest of us, and MRT breakdowns with the same frequency as the rest of us. Not more, not less. You do not need to worry about your estate management if the SDP is elected on Saturday. In fact, the SDP promises to run the town council on our own without using EM services, so we can be more responsive to your needs and issues. Some of the old-timers in the SDP were actually around when the SDP ran the Nee Soon Central and Bukit Gombak town councils, and they have many good experiences they have shared with the rest of us. Moving on to national issues. The last item on our manifesto, remember the T for taxation that is fair, H for healthcare for all, R for respect for the planet, I for immigration that is rational, V for VERS or housing, dealing with the problem of lease decay, and E is for education. This is something very dear to all of our hearts. From 1994, the SDP has called for the abolition of streaming. We asked for children to be able to go to schools near their homes, which would all be equipped with good teachers and good equipment. They would have dedicated teachers who would follow them from year 1 to year 3, year 4 to year 6, and year 7 to 10. The teachers would be able to teach. They wouldn't be bogged down with administrative tasks. There would be no more PSLE. Yes. Students would be allowed to choose the subjects they are good in or have a strong interest in. And this was written long before subject-based banding came into place last year. Unfortunately, even with the subject-based banding, the PSLE is still a critical exam in Singapore, as the IP and SAP schools still depend on high scores in the PSLE. And this is a major source of stress, not just for children, but also for their parents. Some of my colleagues even take a year off just to prepare their kids for the PSLE. This is really ridiculous. You tell people in other countries, why are you taking a year of leave to prepare my 12-year-old for an exam? They think you're crazy. We have also called for more support for teachers. To ask, yes indeed. We believe they need to be freed from all the admin tasks they currently have to do. And they need to be empowered to concentrate on nurturing children in partnership with parents, not in competition. We also propose nationalizing preschools. So in other words, you don't have a big difference between a void deck preschool and say an elite $5,000 a month preschool. This will go a long way towards reducing the inequality present in our school system and by extension in society. In the 1960s, all primary schools were nationalized with a few exceptions. And this allowed for greater national unity, and it also kept alive some small schools with historic and cultural value. The same could be done for early childhood education with a common curriculum, training of teachers, and rotation through the various centers, both public and private. After we published our policy paper more than 10 years ago, the MOE kindergartens were established, and these have proven to be very popular. We think that they could be greatly expanded and made available to all children. Finally, I would like to address some of the complaints that have come up from the PAP about the SDP's policies. Mr. Ong Yi Kang rather bizarrely said that SDP's proposals don't have a snowball's chance of contributing to Singapore. I'm not sure whether he's referring to a snowball in hell or a snowball in Greenland. The truth is probably closer to the snowball in Greenland. Now, don't believe me or take my word just like that. Go to ChatGPT or DeepSeek and ask them this question. Which of the SDP policies were adopted by the PAP and what was the time lag? I did that. And the answers were very striking. The AI came up with a list: universal healthcare, abolition of streaming, a living wage, environmental sustainability, and a few others, with a time lag of 10 to 15 years. Like I said, don't take my word for it. Go and try it for yourself. And I think you will find, don't worry, you won't be pop-mad if it's AI doing it. I think you will find that Mr. Ong's snowball is in Greenland, that the SDP snowball is slowly gathering strength, building momentum, and will grow into a major force on Saturday with your help. There is much that we can do for Bukit Panjang and for Singapore, but we have to do it together. As an opposition party outside Parliament, we can only make proposals and advocate for reform and wait for our ideas to be copied or watered down by the ruling party. As Gandhi is reported to have said, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, and then you win. Let's hope we win on Saturday. Do not be afraid if you work for the SAF, the SCDF, the SPF, or any government agency. Your vote is secret. And those agencies do not belong to any party. In the last general election, 110,000 people voted for SDP candidates. And I can assure you that nothing happened to them because of their votes. Vote without fear. Vote for change. Vote for Singapore where everyone can thrive. Vote for the SDP. Thank you.
Sorry, what was that? You're cheering? Dr. what? Dr. what? Some more, a little bit more so that we can encourage the rest of everybody to come forward. Dr. Paul! You really are Bukit Panjang SMC over here. Can you give yourselves a cheer and a pat on the back, please? Yeah, give them a minute to swap. It's quite tiring for them. Can you all once again also cheer for the two of them, please? Luckily, we speak fairly slow enough. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need to once again remind everyone that we don't have enough polling agents as yet. We only filled up 10% of 770 slots. Polling agents only need to be anybody above 16 years old. So, yeah, some of you already realized, actually, I can also be polling agent. Yeah, I was a polling agent 5 years ago. So basically, your job is to do either the morning shift 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or the afternoon shift 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. You will be there, stationed at the voting booth as a representative of the SDP. Now, you are not just there to sit and while your time away. You are there to observe the proceedings because you are the representative of democracy, of a fair and just election, right? 5 years ago, I can share that I actually got into an argument with the voting booth's manager. Yeah, but I won't go into those details. But I had to voice out my complaints about certain issues that I felt were not going the way I felt a fair and judicial. Yes, vote democracy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the same time, the booths over there are waiting for you on your way out. So please, go ahead, purchase some of your flags, of the clappers, of even the water bottles. This afternoon, I saw some people posting about my colleagues, sharing the magical properties of this water. There is no magical property because we all drink water. But what I want to share with everyone is that what color is it that we all bleed as well? Sorry, what color is it? So at the end of today, any photos, any videos that you would like to post and share online, can I interest you to hashtag we all bleed red? Once again, what was that, the hashtag again? One more time, what is it again? Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce our next candidate, Mr. Alec Tok. Alec is here to emphasize heavily tonight on the issue, the very serious issue of mental illness in Singapore. Mr. Alec Tok, everybody!
No, fine. 尊敬的武吉班让居民，大家好，我是民主党的卓金言，很高兴又有机会在这个舞台跟大家见面。我觉得你们很幸运，有 Dr. Paul Tambaya 这么优秀的一个候选人，你们这个星期六一定要投他的票。Dr. Paul 对新加坡民主党的贡献其实是非常雄厚的，包括他设计了我们新加坡民主党的医疗计划。我今晚就要花点时间，就慢慢的告诉大家我们的这个医疗计划到底是怎么的一回事，好吗 ？OK， 先谈谈武吉班让。武吉班让是一个又老又小又新的一个区域，对吗？这几年政府有好多新的项目，所以恭喜你们了。可是问题是，这些项目都是你我纳税人的钱包里所挪用的金钱，所以本质上，这些项目是我们的钱建造的。我要强调一点的是，这一次的竞选，任何人进入国会都不会影响武吉班让现有的项目，还是未来有的项目。新加坡的公务员是很公平的，他们是为事而做事，所以你可以放心的把你的票投给 Dr. Paul Tambaya。好，我们继续谈一下我们的那个医疗的那个计划。第一点是 Dr. Paul 的擅长，他强调归根究底的医疗保健政策需要以民生扶持为首要目标。民主党的医疗保健计划原则上是没有人会选择自己要癌症或是心脏病，所以目前的做法不会照顾到这些人。目前我们拥有的做法不会，可是 Dr. Paul 所设计的会把这些人放在心里。民主党医疗保健计划的财务状况完全稳定，因为它是在现有的医疗保健下融资和预算，所以你们不用怕。这笔钱我们是用现有国会里现有的预算里的钱，通过消除巨额的行政和刑法成本，节省下来的钱，我们将汇集起来给消费者， 并打破私人和公共医疗之间的界限，这整体会使需要保障的得到保障。好，我们又谈谈我们亲爱的黄循财总理。其实他的表现不仅仅造成了长期社会、经济和人口问题，其实他也很严重的打击了我国人民的心理健康。心理健康，同意吗？因为它解决不了它的政策所带来的压力，严重的影响了我国人民的心理健康。主要有5大点。第一，这5大点是：第一，不受约束的移民政策；第二，激烈的就业竞争；第三，飞涨的生活成本；第四，网络欺凌。网络欺凌 ，online bullying 啊！你知不知道，在新加坡现在有50%的年轻人都说他们受过网络欺凌 （online bullying）， 而且不仅仅是儿童，成年人也遭受过网络骚扰、人肉搜索和其他形式的网络暴力。例如，第5，成年人现在很多的必须照顾家里的爸爸妈妈，有些有很重要的疾病，这造成他们在职业上职业发展和经济稳定上都受到一定的影响。这个我们觉得是必须探讨的问题。Professor Paul 的医疗计划将提倡精神卫生保健应该国家化，对，应该国家化，这是我们医疗保健体系的核心，把精神护理作为国家医疗保健体系的核心。心理健康成为全国性的问题，是因为我们在解决问题上存在系统性的缺陷。大部分心理健康服务都集中在私营的部门，所以普通新加坡人完全负担不起。更糟糕的是，心理健康护理没有融入我们的国家医疗保健体系，许多新加坡人别无选择，只能寻求昂贵的私人医疗服务，而这些服务他们根本负担不起。所以我们提倡的是把精神卫生保健也国家化。王义康的卫生部不能充分的解决当前的问题，并且对造成这种困扰的根本原因完全应该负全责。这可能是为什么王义康这几天把注意力搬移到他对反对党的看法，来伪装他的心理治疗计划的欠缺。今天让我详细的阐述一下新加坡民主党的国家心理健康计划。再重复一遍：第一，提倡给心理健康在 医疗系统享受重要的核心地位。第二，王一刚告诉我们，他们的做法是以预防为主。我们提倡的是，我们的问题已经那么的严重，我们要直接的、立刻的解决这个国家危机。第三，目前普通民众无法承受医疗的费用，我们会大大减低收费。除此之外，很多我们必须做到的，包括限制移民，优先为本地人提供就业机会，控制生活成本，降低消费税，进行医疗改革，使医疗保健服务普及化，流程精简化，价格可承受化。这些建议将导致我国重新调整心理健康的优先顺序，将心理健康作为国家医疗保健计划的重要组成部分。其次，我们将建立以社区为基础的心理健康中心，重点关注青少年和年轻人，使他们有一个地方有护理、资讯和危机支持。最后一点，新加坡民主党将努力创建和扩建更多的公园和绿地，让每一位新加坡人在城市生活的压力下，都能找到一个方便休息、充电和寻找平静的地方。新加坡民主党的国家心理健康计划是一个长期的愿景，这是多年来疏忽大意、政策不当，以及人民行动党政策和王群才、王义康等人缺乏有效办法解决问题的结构性瑕疵。他们一边要求连任，一边回避新加坡面临的精神健康危机的根本元素。我们今晚稍微提供了一些不同的方案，希望大家会支持。最后，5月3号，请把你们的恐惧抛在后头，前景掌握在你们的手中。像刚才所说的，你有一个那么优秀的候选人，别错过这个机会。这个星期六，请把票投给 Professor 包丹巴呀，投给新加坡民主党。谢谢。
Thank you, and Mr. Alec. And once again, can I hear the sound of Bukit Panjang, please? 把恐惧抛在脑后，美好的前景就在你眼前。还有多3天就投票了，对不对？哎，今天是礼拜2，3天不包括礼拜5，因为礼拜5我们大家都要闭嘴，对不对？
对，冷静日，大家听得到吗？
大家听得到他吗？ 你知道他是谁吗？ How many of you know who this gentleman is? Sorry, who? I see some of you know him. Brian, you want to address this crowd over here?
Hi everyone, Brian here. Thanks for braving the rain to come here. We're just waiting for Dr. Chiu to come. Meanwhile, I just want to use the opportunity to call out for more polling agents. Currently, we are really short. I see like, from my vantage point, I see like maybe about 1,000 here, right? And if all of you just sign up as a polling agent or pull a friend or a neighbor or relative to come along, we can fill up the polling agents' vacancies. How many of you sign up?
How many of you are willing to be a polling agent perhaps at this point? 50% of your mind is sort of made up already. Raise up your hand, please. I see a lot of clappers over there. Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen.
So in Mandarin, the polling agent is called a 监票员. It means that you actually sit down there when they come and when the voters come along the line. You just make sure that the procedures, the process is open and transparent. Right? It's not a difficult job, and you get free lunch and dinner from us.
Yeah, I got the free chicken rice as well. But that is not just about polling agents. We also want to exhort anybody of you who would like to volunteer for the team to, yes, as well, register at the back. Remember, at the beginning of tonight, Mr. Arifin Shah addressed you all and said, voting is what? Secret. Voting is secret. So please, on this Saturday, 3rd of May, vote without fear. Vote for who you believe to be your voice in Parliament. Isn't it? Let me ask you a question. After the last few elections, did any of your friends in Hougang, in Aljunied, and in Sengkang disappear overnight? You know the answer.
明天我们的群众大会会在Sun Plaza， 就是上一个星期天，我们所举办的那个地点 Sun Plaza， 就在那个381地铁站的旁边。好，希望你踊跃出席。然后最后一晚呢，在这对
，So yes，
劳动节。
So tomorrow. Since he's doing the Chinese, then I'll do the English. He's making it easy for me. So tomorrow our rally is going to be at Sun Plaza. That's our second last rally already. We happen to be the only political party in Singapore to have had continuous non-stop rallies for the last 1 week. 2 nights ago at Sun Plaza, we had 12,000 people in front of us. We hope to see some of you as well tomorrow night at Sun Plaza. Be part of, because that leads us into the final night on Thursday, the last night of rallying. Then after that, you got to wait 5 years, huh? The last night will be at
Evergreen Primary School, Evergreen 小学。
How many of you live near Evergreen Primary School? Nobody. I see some of you over here. Were you there at Evergreen the other day? Working. Okay. I see.
But you don't work on Labor Day, right?
Yeah, this Saturday, anybody working on Labor Day? Nobody working. Wonderful. So I will see all of you at Evergreen on Thursday, yeah? Now, once again, I just want to implore for the next few rallies, those of you who are coming, please wear red, because it really would help us to paint a sea of red right in front of us, because red is the color of our nation. Red is the color of our brethren, not simply for the party of SDP, but for the country of Singapore, isn't it? Somebody remembers it. What was the hashtag that I invited everybody to use?
Simply red.
We all bleed red. Wonderful, ladies and gentlemen.
You want to talk about?
We want to talk about the issues beforehand. Now, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen you all react to my exhortations. The whole night long, I said, come closer, come closer. And some of you have really filled up all the gaps over there. The only gaps remaining are closer to the fences, which is a wonderful thing because, I say again, listening to a rally as a citizen of Singapore is not a crime. It is your right as a citizen in a proper functioning democracy to hear your problems enunciated. Don't you think so? To hear your alternative solutions from the SDP because for the longest time, they haven't been resolved. Isn't it? It is not a crime, therefore, to voice out our displeasures when we live in such increasing income inequalities. Isn't it? Some of you have made a meme out of me already. Isn't it? Isn't it? Now, ladies and gentlemen, since we are here waiting for Dr. Chi as well, I would like to also address an issue which is half addressed by Mr. Alec talk earlier about online bullying. So this is something that, as an artist, I hold deeply in my heart. And I'm very, very passionate about. And that is empathy, compassion. Because these days, I do feel like once somebody makes a mistake, including me, because I gabra a lot on stage, yeah? People tend to make fun of it. People tend to make memes out of it. People then tend to make remixes and multi-mixes out of it. I refer, for example, to one of our colleagues in the opposition party, Mr. Samuel. How many of you know Samuel? Samuel Lee. Yes. And then some of you have heard, he's very famous. Look left, look right. Right? Left? No. But ladies and gentlemen, I implore you to avoid making fun of people. You agree? Definitely. Give that young man an applause, please. For such a young age, he already knows the value of not bullying, of standing up for your rights, of standing up for others' rights. Because there are lesser people amongst us in society. And I say this as once again as an artist. Because I believe that the person standing opposite you or sitting opposite you on the MRT, you have no idea what kind of difficulties he's going through. You have no idea what kind of talents he could be. He could be a musical conductor for all you know. He could be a wonderful musician. He could be a dance artist just like me. But you don't have no idea. All you have are visual impressions of the person, and then you say, this person looks funny. I can make fun of him. No, I don't think so. And so I implore all of you perhaps to stand up whenever you hear such bullying that happens. Can I hear that from you? You are such a wonderful and compassionate bunch. Is he here? Now, ladies and gentlemen, what other issues would you like us to address over the next few days perhaps? You have no issues. Wow, Bukit Panjang. Income inequality. Do you want to speak anything about that, or have you already covered some of that as well?
I think we have covered that. I think most
but
of the
you
speakers have covered that.
You want to just quickly reiterate some of the points?
I think the speakers have covered that.
Oh, the speakers have covered that already, yes. Some of you have been fervently rewatching the live streams as well. Yeah, my wife and my child has also been rewatching, but they scroll to the parts where I appear on stage only. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, what other topics would you like the SDP to perhaps be your voice for? Sorry?
Ministerial salaries.
Ministerial salaries. Oh, this one always occurs. Every 1 to 2 nights, it always occurs. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I have covered this in my first night, in my third night. Somebody in this country lives in a palace that is triple the size of the field that you are standing on. What do you have to say about that? But you know, he and his family live in that giant palace. Meanwhile, Dr. Chi has constantly honed it into us that the residents of Sembawang West are all crammed together? And so shall we allow Dr. Chi to come on stage to share more with you about what his thoughts are about Sembawang West and his opponent. Please, Dr. Chi!
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an absolutely crazy day. We just had our lunchtime rally at UOB Plaza this afternoon in the scorching heat. And now we're here in the wet with all of you at Bukit Panjang. Again, our gratitude for showing up despite the weather. This evening, I want to address a couple of things that Ms. Paul Lee San said at the PAP rally last night. She had told the Sembawang West voters that in her first term as MP, she was listening to their feedback, doing on-the-ground learning, and laying that foundation. That, she said, was chapter 1. She then went on to say that if you elect her to a second term, she will build on this momentum. That's chapter 2. I've written a few books, so I know a thing or two about chapters. In writing, there's something called sometimes writer's block, where you get stuck at a point and you don't know how to go on. Well, Ms. Po seems to have experienced this writer's block because for 5 years since 2020, she's still stuck on chapter 1 and hasn't started on chapter 2. Now, after 5 years as MP, you should by now have finished at least 8 or 9 chapters and be starting on your 10th chapter. The reason why Ms. Po is still on chapter 1 is because she's doing her MP duties on a part-time basis. Imagine, she took 5 whole years just to listen and learn. Now this is the difference between Ms. Po and me. I will hit the ground running if I am elected and be in the town every day to do what I have to do. And I intend to do the following. I will be assembling my town council management team, appoint all my managers to ensure a smooth takeover of the duties. On top of my priorities, on top of all this, my top priority is to ensure that all the building and upgrading projects will continue without any delay. And this will include all the home improvement projects to the older blocks, where, as some of you in Sembawang West have alerted me to, the paint is peeling off and mold and grout is building in your toilets. We will ensure that these projects, this upgrading, go on without any hitches. I was also informed that the footpath outside Admiralty Primary School on Avenue 6 is rather narrow. Well, I went down to take a look, and I agree. It is narrow, and with school children, because it's just right next outside the primary school, and with school children going to and fro, back and forth from home, it can be a safety issue. I will work to see if it can be widened. If you If you as a Sembawang West resident have any concerns that you want to bring to my attention, please email me at sembawangwest@yoursdp.org. I repeat, sembawangwest@yoursdp.org. I'd be happy to see how I can be of help. Another project that I'm going to undertake is to organize, as I promised, town hall meetings. I will divide the constituency into 4 quadrants, and I will hold a town hall meeting in each quadrant on a fortnightly basis, so that by the end of the second month, I will have met many of you and getting to know the major concerns and issues that you have. And thereafter, we will do these town halls as an estate. During these town halls, I will keep you updated on upgrading projects as well as town council plans, both ongoing and those in the pipeline. I will also discuss with you policies that you are concerned about, both at the national level as well as those more specific to Sembawang West. Now, at a rally speech, Ms. Poh misrepresented what I said. She said that I would organize these town hall meetings in place of Meet the People sessions, or so she implied. I want to make it abundantly clear that I will hold town hall meetings not in place of, but on top of the usual Meet the People sessions, which will continue on a weekly basis. In fact, for those of you who are available only during the day because you might be working at night, or if you need to stay at home with your children in the evenings, I will make myself available to see you during the day. By the first quarter of my taking over Sembawang West, that is by August, I would have finished writing chapter 1. That's the way I work, and that's how capable Team SDP is. Now, my friends, this is not a boast. It is a pledge. And I invite all of you, whether you are in Bukit Panjang here, whether you are in Sembawang GRC, Marsiling UT, or in Sembawang West, we invite all of you, if we are elected, to keep track of what we do, because we are going to update residents on social media and, as I said, at town hall meetings. And I repeat, all this can only be done if the MP works full-time. I will not have any other job to distract me, and I will be in the neighborhood every day. Every day, except of course when I am in Parliament. Ms. Poh is also reported to have said that establishing trust, creating hope, and forming a community understanding to assist a constituency like Sembawang West takes years. I respectfully disagree. It will take years only if you are a part-time MP. If you do the job earnestly, full-time, it will take months, not years. I know that because I did that in Bukit Batok. On the GST, I also heard Ms. Poh defending the GST hike. I, together with other opposition MPs, will work to bring the GST back down to 7%, and to see how we can further reduce prices of basic commodities and services like water, public transport fares, and gas and electricity. Now, Ms. Poh wonders how we are going to make up for the shortfall in the revenue if we lower the GST. I'll tell her how. 1, we raise the GST for luxury goods. 2, we introduced a wealth tax as well as raised income tax of top earners to between 28 to 30%. 3, we stopped the PAP from its profligate spending. I am surprised that Ms. Poh did not tell Sembawang West voters that the government collected a surplus of $6 billion in revenue after it raised the GST to 9%. While this happened, Singaporeans all over were choking under the weight of the high costs of living. This is another crucial difference between Ms. Poh and me. Apart from her refusing to dedicating herself to taking care of Sembawang West on a full-time basis, she also keeps defending the indefensible policies of a party in raising the cost of living for Singaporeans. She makes all sorts of excuses to uphold these measures. On the other hand, I will spend all my energy listening to you and speaking up for you. You see, ultimately, Sembawang West voters are my bosses. Ms. Poh's boss is her party. Now let me ask you, who do you want to represent you in the next 5 years? Someone who listens to you or someone who listens to her party bosses? I think the answer is quite clear. On Saturday, voters of Sembawang West, vote for SDP, vote for me, and let's show Singaporeans what it really means to have a full-time MP dedicated to making your constituency shine on the hill. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow and Thursday night.